everybody, and welcome to the Reality Unloaded podcast. We're covering Drag Race All Stars 9, episode 6 and 7. It's a double episode again. You know, we're trying to catch up with the times, but it's your girl, Keeks.
I'm Lina D.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Michael.
And again, thank you for joining us at Reality Unloaded podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality Unloaded Pod and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. And yes, keep up. We're going to be doing a lot. Again, we're going to try to do this under in 1 hour. Let's see if we can really pull through. We're really going to try today, guys. So let's get into episode 6, the National Drag Convention Rose. And we start off the episode with Roxy and her tears, child. Oh my God. I love my dramatic Roxy, but sheesh. Like, it's a lot of tears for Safe. And I love that Gottmik called out Roxy. It was like, Roxy, like the whole thing that you was doing on stage, trying to cover your face and act like you didn't see anybody. Come on, you knew where the hell you were. How did y'all feel about Gottmik calling her out?
Period. We see through your bullshit. I loved it. Yes, correct. We all know it was an act, and it is what it is.
Just like if you're gonna go ahead and do something, just go full force with it. Don't make the excuses. That's what I feel.
I would say kudos for like stirring the pot a little bit, but it definitely was for the drama. Like, and it was very obvious. Like, it's not like she was subtle at all about it, you know? But yeah, love drama. So
I love the drama. Listen, I'm loving the dramatics, even though this is not a season that we anticipated for the stakes to be as high. I'm living for the drama. Honestly, it might be better than All Stars 8. I might say that a little bit too. Yeah, it might be better than All Stars 8 to me. So moving on.
Not the looks, just the drama.
You think All Stars 8 had better looks?
I keep doing that. I keep thinking All Star 7. Never mind.
I was about to say, questionable. Okay, so we move on to the next day. Rue has a mini challenge for the girls. It's a straw poll. Pretty much they get to be shady as hell with these questions. And Rue pretty much says the winner of this mini challenge is going to win a beautiful benefactress badge. And I'm like, dang, this is easy, Chanel, Nina. Y'all better do what y'all got to do and try to get this badge because y'all are falling behind. And one of these screenshots that I got here, it was of the group, pretty much majority of the group voting Angeria as the most delusional, which I thought was funny because I don't think Angie is delusional at all. Did y'all agree with that? Because that was one of the main ones that stuck out to me. How about you, Lina?
I agree. I don't think Angie has been delusional at all. So I was surprised by the vote, to be honest with you. Moreover, like you notice throughout the episode, she's trying to get an understanding of how is she delusional. And I know Georges had like made the comment where she says that like, you know, you get ready for the lip sync thinking you're going to win. But all the girls do. Like, I'm sorry, but how many times does Nina West get ready for the lip sync? And I'm like, sis. So right. I'm just gonna
with her 15 what's it called?
reveals.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. What about you, Brandon? Anything you have to say about Angie being delusional? Do you believe it or not?
I don't think she's delusional. I think the other queens are delusional to think she's delusional because if anything, I can name, and I'm not, I can name a few that are definitely delusional, but it's definitely not Angie.
Right. And you, Michael?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Angie's the most delusional at all. If anything, I feel like to be a drag queen in general, you have to be delusional. So besides the regular amount of delusion that every drag queen has, I don't think Angie has like an extra layer of that. No, I didn't agree.
And I think it's funny that Georges, we'll get into that. Like Georges mentioned how she gets ready for every lip sync. But I'm like, but she's on the top consistently. So she should. And she was in the top this episode and actually won. So that's actually funny. But moving on from the mini challenge, so Georges ends up winning, and again, Georges ends up winning the benefactress badge. She also wins the ability to make the order for the roast, which is a great advantage to have because pretty much you get to set yourself up pretty well. And then we see obviously the ranking. Literally, Nina was not far behind. She was right there on Georges, and she lost by 1. Chanel, you are actually the most delusional because you actually don't even know these queens either. So it's like, what's going on? 7? What are you doing in there? I don't know. She was just very off.
Chanel is busy planning what she's gonna add to her Christmas design this year. Yeah, she's too busy with that.
Yeah, I
Wait,
guess
y'all.
so.
I heard some tea
What?
about Chanel.
Share.
What's he?
So apparently, I heard on a podcast that while Chanel was, you know how they do the like the hosting at Roscoe's. I think it's in like LA, like the club that the queens go to and watch the show at. I allegedly Chanel said that she hasn't watched any of this season, and she alluded to the fact that she doesn't win any badges. Allegedly.
Oh, at Roscoe's viewing party in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago. That's where it's at. I thought it was in LA.
No, you're good.
But shook. And apparently she has like a very like not interested attitude about Drag Race and the season. So
I mean, I can imagine, and we see a little bit of that in the following episode where she kind of feels like she's not up to par with the other queens on episode 7. But yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
So when Rue gave that speech to Chanel, allegedly it was like a full like 35-minute like speech rant that RuPaul went on, and they ended up cutting it. And all that Chanel said after that 35-minute rant was meh.
Oh, I live. Okay, all right, Chanel.
So there's some tea.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, okay. So we get into the lineup for the roast, and Georges, as we know, she has been gunning for Nina West the entire season, and she's just like, oh, Nina's going last, point blank, period. And Nina's like bothered by this. She's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm going last. Why do I have to go last? Rightfully so, because Nina is not that type of queen to roast somebody. Like, she's comedic, she's campy, but not in a roast insult comic kind of way. But the roast order ends up being Chanel as the host, which Chanel had no problem doing. Then Georges placing herself as second, which is comfortable for Georges. Then Plastique, Roxy, Vanjie, Angie, got Mick, and then Nina's the last one. So how do you, if y'all were to be a part of this roast order, where would you guys decide to be? Go ahead, Lina.
I definitely would have put myself around the same place that Georges or Plastique would have been, second or third to play safe. I'm also not a roast kind of girly. But I'm actually surprised about Georges. I would have put Angeria last, to be honest, because I think of all of the queens, she is the most like witty in terms of a roast. So I was surprised a little bit about the order she did. And she really kind of let the queens pick where they wanted to be. I think really the only ones she picked was Chanel and Nina.
But are you surprised, or do you think it was actually like sabotage? Because yeah, she's like comedic and stuff, but maybe she knew in the back of her head, well, if she goes last and she can't like close this, she's probably not gonna end up getting the badge.
So it might have been strategic on her part, or she thought it was strategic. I just think who she chose to go last was not strategic. Because I think, like, to be honest, I thought either Vanjie was going to kill the roast or Angeria was going to kill the roast. Like, right when I saw it was a roast, that's who I went to. That I was like, okay, if someone's going to kill it, it's going to be one of these two queens. So.
Okay. And you, Brandon, where would you have placed yourself if you were in a roast order?
I'm not an opener and I'm not a closer, so anywhere in the middle I will be okay with, but definitely not one of those two.
And you, Michael?
Yeah, I would want to be right in the middle, so you can like forget about me, kind of. Like, you're not too worried about,
Mm.
like, there's people before me and after, so just, you know, don't worry about that person in the middle.
Mm.
Because I think in if any of the like strong comedic queens, a closer would be great for them. Like, to be a closer, you're the last act, you're the funniest, but you have to be so good to be a closer. Definitely wouldn't want that. And then as an opener, just that's way too much pressure. No. So like I would like to be like right in the middle. That would be my ideal spot.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on from the roast order. So while the queens are getting ready, the conversation of Angeria being delusional comes up. As we touched on it, Georgia says, well, sis, you always think that you're gonna be lip syncing. And Angeria explains herself like, well, if I did very well, I'm gonna prepare myself, and like, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Like, point blank, period. That's what it comes down to. And like we've mentioned, Angeria is not the only one that seems to get dressed. So why is it an issue? And clearly Angeria is doing what she needs to do because she's consistently in the top. So I'll give Angeria her props there. Moving on, this moment was really funny where Chanel was like, oh, it's getting sticky. And she's like, well, like the drama, or and she's just like, yes, all of the above, pretty much. I love that moment. It was really good. So then we get to the roast, and baby, we see Bob the drag queen. Okay, Roberta, I love me some Bob the drag queen. Bob looks great. I'm happy to see Bob back on our screens. It also just reminds me that clearly sibling rivalry has like these good connections or relationships with Drag Race, because they keep calling on Monet and Bob to do these certain things, whether it be pit stop related, little appearances here and there. They clearly love Monet and Bob, and I love that for them as well. How did y'all think about like how Bob looked? Because Bob looked polished. This might be one of Bob's best looks ever.
Bob looked good. I was like, okay, this is like the 5.0 version of the 3.0 version you would have given us a few years back. So like I appreciate it. And I think Bob in general is just there, unless it's like Bianca, I don't think there's anyone comedically that could match Bob's level. So I was happy with it.
I agree. Anything else y'all have to say about Bob? Nothing? Forever hold your peace. We have 13 minutes, y'all. Let's see if we can make it. All right. So moving on from Bob the drag queen. So we got Chanel. Chanel opened the roast as the host, and honestly, Chanel did what she had to do. Clearly you could tell that this is not their first time being a host. They did pretty well. Was it the funniest? No. But Chanel looks stunning as per usual. The mug is mugging. You know, the wig is right. I loved it. How did y'all feel about Chanel? Michael, go ahead.
I thought she did good. I think she was a good opening act. I mean, that is a hard position to fill. She looked great. Loved the hair. Loved the makeup. I would say it was a pretty decent week for Chanel. I was into it.
Yes. And for the
she
sake
was
of time,
comfortable.
She was comfortable, right? Right. So moving on from Chanel, because again, for the sake of time, we trying to push through, okay? All right. So now we get to the neighborhood thug, Georges. Lina, you could go ahead and talk about your fave Georges. How do you think Georges did?
I'm so proud of her. She really came out, like, granted, she was not the best, but she tried something different. She took RuPaul's advice, you know, trying to kind of pull more masculine energy, but give it like the fun queen twists. I think she did good for what she did. She wasn't amazing, but go ahead, girl. Like, I was proud of Georges.
Hold on. I just want to give props to Georges, because she literally took word for word RuPaul's advice and did exactly what RuPaul said, and I appreciate that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. And another thing, we're gonna realize that a lot of these queens didn't write their own jokes. Like, yes, they repurposed them or remixed them to fit the cast, but a lot of them came with jokes prepared, which is fine. It's all about delivery. But I did think Georges was funny as hell. I honestly would have thought Georges would have been top. because of the fact that they listened to Rue. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that Georges was like hitting on Rue. And I said, this is a little weird. Like, don't be hitting on Mama Rue like this. Like, that's a little odd. But aside from that,
Look, you got to do what you got to do.
she don't got to do that because Rue
She
loves her
wanted to
regardless.
But she wanted to secure the win. So
And
fluff
she
the
didn't.
ego if you need to fluff the. I know.
And she didn't. though.
Fail.
So, and you could tell she was mad as hell at the end. She was pissed. Like, I can't believe I didn't win. But Georges was really funny. I just loved the jokes. It was really good. And then moving on to the next roaster, it's Plastique. And Plastique in the Sailor Moon guiche. And I was a little confused about the cigarette. Like, I guess we didn't see like the development of the character. I was actually surprised that Plastique was in the top. Even though they had funny ass jokes, you could tell that maybe they friend, the comedian friend,
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong must have wrote some of these jokes for
So
Plastique.
can I say something with Plastique? I was also very surprised she came in the top because yes, her jokes were funny, but she did not land them right. Like, I felt like she did not emphasize the right point enough for it to be as funny as it could have been. So that's my one thing is that did she come out of her shell? Yes. Did she do good for a comedy challenge? Yes, knowing where she comes from. But I do not think she landed the jokes as well as maybe Nino would have landed the jokes, for example.
And I think you see that like
Yeah.
in the next episode when they're doing the acting challenge, you kind of see where Rue's saying you're not landing that on the right part. So I think that's just something that Plastique is obviously getting used to because she's not known to be like, you know, this comedic queen, but I give her props for trying. So.
Yeah, same. Plastique had some funny jokes. The Leo Remini is still hiding in Michelle Visage's deep gaping vagina was really funny, and that's how I knew the whole Scientology thing. I said Plastique did not write that. That's too clever for Plastique. But props to you for delivering it. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Vanjie. Oh, actually, it's supposed to be Roxy, but my bad. So we'll just do. Hold on. Let's go to Roxy. Roxy, this is the best that you've looked all season. I love this look, this wig, the hair. This is the best that you've looked, and she has some funny ones in there as well. How did y'all feel about Roxy's delivery? Go ahead, Brandon.
She was funny. I'll give her that. I in terms of the best she's looked all season, I'll reserve that because I think she had a look, if I'm not mistaken, later on that I was like, wow. Yeah. So let me just reserve that my thoughts on that comment. So then.
Yes. But I do think this was one of her better looks. Like, I love the brown. It was so cute. It was just like a cute like jumper dress or whatever, and the wig was lovely on her. It's definitely like a RuPaul wig. And I love that Roxy was like the wig reveal one, you know, because Ru has a horrible time remembering the queen's names. You know, Seattle, that one. How did you feel about this look, like, or their performance?
I think Teresa Caputo has never looked better. The Long Island medium, like,
why
in the
Teresa Caputo?
In the best way, though. That's such a compliment. Like, I love it. I think she looks gorgeous. I think the wig and the tan, like, it just makes so much sense. I think her makeup looked beautiful, and she delivered on the roast. I thought this was a good week for Roxy too. I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah, this was a funny one. She had some lines in there. Okay, let's go back to Vanjie.
Can I
go
make
ahead,
a quick
Lina.
comment? Keeks. So I actually went back to watch her previous roast because they were talking about how bad they were. And I have to say, she pulled this off. Like, her other roasts were like a little cringy, where I was like, okay, she got the rhythm of this one. So definitely props to Roxy.
Yeah, she had good ones there. Another one that was really funny was her saying, Rue, you talk about your chosen family, so like, why the hell did you pick Michelle Visage? It's like, that's funny. Okay. So Vanjie, she started off a little, I was like, oh, what are we doing here? This is a little racy race. Yeah. I was like, okay, not the N-word, but hey, she led up to it. My only thing with Vanjie is that Vanjie's just naturally funny. And Vanjie does this thing where she's like, yeah. This is a roast, people. This is a roast. And she starts throwing the cue cards and everything. I just wish she was like more confident in her delivery. But how did you feel that Vanjie did, Michael?
So I feel like it's so easy. So when someone is so naturally funny, just in their normal self, you can always tell when they're trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously it is a roast. Obviously you're trying to be funny. But I feel like with Vanjie, whenever she's in a role or whenever she has to act funny, it's just so obvious. You can tell she gets like really in her head.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it, I mean, her wig was really nice. She looked really cute.
Always the wig's been late.
Do I think it was the strongest roast? No, but do we expect that from Vanjie? I mean, I know Lina said she expected it, but I don't get that kind of vibe from Vanjie. Vanjie's like
I
a
agree.
good and like a skit comedy acting role where she gets to be herself. It's when she has to like put on a persona or act different that it just, you can tell like she has to think, she overthinks it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Vanjie's like unintentionally funny. Like she's not like, I have to be funny for you. She's just naturally funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Lina? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I thought Vanjie's performance was cringy. Like I think she landed her first joke, not the N-word with the nobodies. Like right after that, I can't recall what the joke was. She landed it, and I like cackled. But honestly, the rest of her performance, I was cringing. I was like, all right, Vanjie, get off the stage. Like, and I don't know. I really thought like just kind of seeing the way she interacts with the queens, like. To me, I thought she would roast the hell out of them. So for me, it was a disappointment. But her face looks beautiful. The mug, the wig, she looks absolutely gorgeous. But a little cringe there.
I mean, she did have some good ones, like some that snuck in there. The one for George's, like after she gives the man head, he has to like burp her because she's so small.
That was good.
I was like, okay. And my favorite was like when she did tag like Roxy about Roxy's weight or whatever, and people were like, ooh, and she was like, this is a roast. This is a roast. It's like that to me is more funny than like the actual like lines that she had set up. But
see, because that's just natural Vanjie.
Right.
Like that's what we always need. That's it.
All right. So we're gonna go to Got Mick. Michael, I'm gonna let you lead this one because I don't know if you know the tea about, your fave.
So she stole the whole thing. Word for word. And I'm all for like queens getting help, like comedy friends or like whatever. I'm into all that. Have people write it for you. All right, whatever. But when you like really, and that roast that she stole from, I believe is like pretty like everyone, like a lot of people have seen that. Like, so it's not like it was like a little like underground like comedian she stole it from. Like, no, this is like
Glazer.
Yeah, like it's who is it? Nick
who's not that funny. Nikki Glazer, who's not that funny.
Yeah, like you stole it from like a famous comedian, so I felt like it was kind of like, I mean, steal, or I don't know if she helped her write it. I don't know. I don't want to say steal. I don't know all the tea, but either way, this was someone else's material. I think she delivered it decently.
I think Got Mick performed better at their last roast than this one. It just 100%. Didn't feel authentic to Got Mick, and I think that was the issue.
I felt like a little bit like reading off a page.
I felt like she was really in her head. Like when she did the Lassie skit, she was brilliant. Like, and I expected a little bit of that here. And I just felt like she just, yeah, I think she overthought it. Maybe she was just too much in her head.
It felt too scripted. Like she knew
Mhm.
exactly what she was gonna say, but like it didn't. I guess now, because we know that it was basically all of the same jokes, just tweaked a little bit. Yeah, it didn't feel as funny to me, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, even before I knew, I didn't feel like it was as funny. But I think like Gottmik not owning up to it makes her look bad as well, because people called her out on it and she was like, "Oh, like I'm not the only one." And it's also just like, okay, but like you're the one that got caught, so just like be like, "Okay, yeah, like I took the material because I didn't know what the hell to do, or I was influenced by this person." But yeah, I just felt like Gottmik, like you said, Lena, she was going through some things. Personally, mentally, and that was touched on in the next episode a little bit, but it is what it is. Gottmik, definitely not your best performance, unfortunately. So moving on from Gottmik, and we have Angie. I'm sorry, this is, yeah, and Angie was hilarious. I mean, Angie's very authentic to themselves. You could tell that like Angie felt like she wrote the material there, or at least like refreshened it very well there. I did laugh at Angie calling Michelle Rue's service dog and was like, "Don't you bite me, bitch." And I thought that was really funny. How did you feel about Angie's performance, Brandon?
I thought Angie was the best. Like personally, I thought it just came naturally. It didn't feel like she had jokes written for her. Like it was just authentic, and that to me came across as the funniest.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Like her jokes sounded like Angie would say it. Like, and that was why it was so good. And I'm so happy that Michelle had that little pep talk with her during the practice, because I think she was in her head then. And she came out and killed this roast. Like the outfit, like it all was so cohesive. Insane. Fire. She killed that. She deserved this win.
And you, Michael, any thoughts on Angie's performance?
Oh, same. I thought she did great. I definitely do think she was one of the stronger competitors this week. And again, that doesn't surprise me though. I feel like, you know, I knew she was gonna do great, and she did.
Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on from Angie, we got Nina, and honestly, Nina was Nina. Oh my god, she tried. Nina tried. But Nina is not an insult comic whatsoever. I felt like everything was still so like wrapped up in a bow. Very sweet of Nina. You know, she tried not to go for the jugular. There were some funny ones. I think she was the one that had the line about like Georges not even seeing their name on a high school diploma or something like that. That was good, but yeah, Nina was a little rough. I definitely would have wished somebody else with more energy would have been the closer, but hey, Nina, you tried.
I think, to be honest, because she went after Ingeria, it made it more obvious how bad she did. I think had like maybe Vanjie gone like second to last, or even like a Roxy, it would not felt as bad. But because Angeria had just killed it, like the expectation for Nina was like, okay, you need to really wrap it up, and that's where she fell short. But I think she still delivered her jokes. I think again, delivery was spot on. Emphasis on the joke was there. They just weren't as funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
Okay, so moving on from Nina the Devil, was hellish is that freaking outfit, Nina. Oh my god. But anyway, moving on from that. So we get to the runway, and the runway is Atomic Blondes. And honestly, I'm thinking that the queens got different prompts. I don't know if maybe the prompt when they got there was something else. And then because it felt like very apocalyptic type thing, but we kind of already got that earlier. I don't know. I was very confused. But hey, go blondes, you know? Blondes tend to have more fun, even though I gotta do my hair again. Don't judge my roots, bitches. If not, pay up. Pay so I could get them done again, so I could be a true blonde, okay? But moving on to the blondes on this show. So we have Chanel. Chanel, the mug is always there. Like, I'm wow. I'm still not over this face. Like, stunning.
Those lashes, girl. Oh, gorgeous. Insane.
It's really the eyes. Like they're
The
so
eyes.
just like you're just sucked into looking at her face from her eyes. Absolutely beautiful.
You ever seen
I
that
mean, the
meme of like,
makeup, yeah.
oh, sorry.
Wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you ever seen that meme of like people with like green or blue eyes? Like they be looking at you like they want you to stare into their soul. It's like Miley Cyrus, like with her eyes like that. That's what Chanel reminds me of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. But the makeup, like we were saying, always there's never a miss with the makeup. I just think that a lot of Chanel's outfits, to me, because again, everybody's a creative, you know, we all have different opinions. I feel like a lot of Chanel's outfits so far that we've seen, she didn't pick to be standouts. Like they're always just coasting in the middle, I feel. And I haven't seen, oh, until we get to the next episode, but I haven't seen anything thus far that was like, oh no, this is a winning outfit, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we're gonna move on from Chanel. We're gonna go to not Plas. Oh my God, Georges. Lina, talk about your fave again, Georges. How did you like this look?
Love this look. She gave me like Terminator Barbie. I was into it. Like, yeah, her makeup was beautiful. I thought it was fun. You know, I haven't seen Georges in something like this. Like, so for me, it was very interesting. It was out of the box for her. I really liked her runway walk, and she sold it.
She just moves so damn fast. It's so hard getting screenshots for Georges, y'all. My gosh, she be pumping through the freaking runway. I will say I like the feature of the sparks though. That was cute.
This was different for her. This was not what we expect of Georges, and she's been surprising me lately. Like she's doing different things from her original season, and I could tell that now she's an all-star. So I'm excited.
But I'm not gonna forgive her for the next episode, because that took me back to her original season. But go ahead, Michael. What were you gonna say?
When she stepped out and I saw her face, I literally was like, who is this? Like,
Wuggy.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The hair was everything. Yeah, this was, I feel like, one of her best looks for sure.
Yeah, she looks stunning. Okay, moving on from Georges, we're going to Plastic. I mean, like, what is there to say? What is there to say?
Really? Because this was the one look that I've seen from Plastique that I saw, and I was like, other than the hair and the makeup, I saw the outfit, and I was like, really? Like, I wasn't getting it.
Well, I feel like we've seen her in something similar, right? Like the Chromatica style kind of thing. We've kind of seen that be a theme here. But I did think that like it looks very expensive. So I just feel like her looks are always going to be top tier.
To me, it gives like it was a design challenge and they had to use like unconventional items or whatever. So when I saw it, I was like, wait, what's the challenge again? Like the runway challenge? Or
right.
But yeah, to me, like I didn't gravitate towards it. And that was the first time ever this whole entire season that I was like kind of let down by Plastique.
Okay, wow, I'm surprised.
Wow, I disagree. Let down is a strong word. Definitely not let down. Correct. She sets the bar high. Don't get me wrong. This would not be like her top 3 looks of the season, probably, that I would select. But to say let down,
then don't bring it. Don't bring it then, because at this point, I have
allowed to have a day, honey. Remember.
I'm gonna say Georges looks better than Plastique, and I
I
wouldn't.
agree with that.
And normally, like that's a wild sentence, but I think Georges looked better.
Okay, that's fair.
Not
that's
that
fair.
not that Plastique looks bad. Again, she doesn't look bad. I personally, I don't think it looks cheap. Like I don't think that's any of the issue. I just was like, oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on from Plastique, baby. We going to Roxy. And Roxy, what in the scar makeup? I was so confused. I was like, okay, bring back what the hell you was wearing. Like maybe that should have been what you walked out in. Like a classy, like blonde, looking like a benefactor at some, politician type thing. I did not really like this. It thick in the hips, okay. Roxy always thick, but I did not like this look at all.
I don't understand the direction of this look. Like I don't get it anywhere. Like no, like I just don't get it. Like, and I think that she doesn't look bad. She just, yeah. Help me understand.
Go ahead, Brandon. What do you have to say?
My mother told me if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. I just think similar to what I said with Chanel, it feels like it would have been in the middle of the pack. It's not great. It's not the worst thing that I've seen. It's just like, I just want Roxy to like blow my mind at this point. Because right now I haven't, and that's not me being mean. I just don't, I can't think of anything that I was like, wow, that's a Roxy look. So.
Michael, do you have anything to say? You seem like you holding back. You know? Okay, we're gonna move on then.
Baby, I'm just gonna say chop and we're gonna move forward.
Okay. Moving on to Vanjie. How did you all feel about this one? Michael, take it away.
Face looks gorgeous. Love tattoos. Her eyelashes look great. And that's about it. I'm not into it. I think this is messy. I think, and like there's a different, like there is certain like designers and stuff who make gowns that look all deconstructed and like that's super cool. This is not in that category. I really feel like this is like a whole bunch of like cheap like stripper clothes like just tied up and into a gown. Like it just no. Mm-mm.
It gives me a jellyfish that was destroyed in war. Like but her face, I mean, the last few looks that Vanjie has come out in, like in this situation, she is beautiful, like truly a top beauty in this season. But I just don't get the look.
That's fair.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I don't think it's horrible. I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is different. It might be like a sore eye for some people, but I was into it. Not her best, but not her worst to me.
Yeah. I definitely think next episode is one of her best. But yeah, I also thought it was very interesting. I would have wished like the corset, the under would match her skin tone a little bit better. Or if she didn't wear it, because I feel like it would have given a better look to it all. And I also did not like the socks. But aside from that, I thought it was a pretty cool look, and I did like her eyeshadow makeup. But the mug has been right, the hair has been right the entire season as well. All right, so moving on from Vanjie, we're going to Angie. Oh, Angie, boo like that boo you wearing. Oh my God, Angie. What in the? This is why I'm talking.
Well,
about,
Michael knows the fashion reference, because when I first saw it, I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "You say the fashion reference," because I forgot the designer.
Brandon, what fashion reference are you talking about? I do not remember saying any fashion
you
reference.
said like Vivian Westwood or something like that? You said
hair?
somebody.
For this look, no.
The hair.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't
Listen,
know.
whatever fashion reference she pulled from, no.
Put it
Try
back.
again. Yeah, that do not work with
Put it
that
back.
designer again because it's
I
not working
hate
for
the
you.
bra part, the brassiere. I hate it. Like, why?
I
It
hate
looks
the
like
shoulders, like, and then the back. It's just so busy. Like,
She looks like a troll.
yeah. Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
good.
I
That's what
just
it
feel
looks
like the prompt, like what exactly happened? What did they email the girls and what did they tell them when they got there? Like, I'm so confused.
I'll
'Cause
be
this is
honest,
giving-
it's a confusing directive. Like
Yeah,
atomic blonde, like what does that mean?
This
It's
is
funny.
giving Lord
like
of the
Atomic
Rings.
Bond.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
funny
I
because I
thought it
feel
was
like
atomic blonde. The
No,
whole
no,
entire
it is
time.
Atomic Blonde.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the runway theme, but it's
Okay.
Atomic Bomb is a play on that.
You see, my head would take me to like Pamela Anderson, Marilyn Monroe. Like, I wouldn't be thinking like Armageddon. Like, what the fuck? How do like?
Yeah, but that's why.
or I would
Like,
have
how
done
do we
like
get
a
there?
very or like a Barbie look. Like I don't know. Like I was
Something.
very, but it's weird because I feel like Angie, Chanel, and Roxy went in this direction.
Yeah,
And to me, I'm like, I would have never gone that direction. So it's very interesting that a few of the queens did go in the same direction.
Half of
that's
them are
why I
dressed
feel
like
like that.
half of
Mhm.
them are dressed like futuristic Barbie robots, and the other half are dressed like
Like apocalyptic. Yeah, like
like
apocalyptic.
Vikings.
Mad
They're literally
Max
dressed
type
like Vikings.
stuff. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know what's going. It's like the end of the world. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Got Mick. This is good. This is a really good look. It's gorge, but it's not her
Really
best look.
good.
I mean, it's a
Really
good look, but
good.
I don't think it's her best look.
It's again in the middle. I felt like no. Like when you set such a high standard, this to me is like a cop out. If you're gonna
I think
go high the whole entire time. I was not blown away. And that's not me being mean. Again. I just wasn't like drawn to it. I don't know.
I have to agree with Brandon. Like
she has a whole prosthetic titty on.
She's done a lot
What do you mean?
more.
I don't
She
think that
had
this
the
is
whole
most,
titties in a bag. Like this is
Listen.
okay.
I do not think that this is the most groundbreaking, over the top, incredible look. No. But was it done very well? Does she look good? Is it gorgeous? Yeah, it is. I'm not mad at this. I don't hate it.
And can I be honest? Her eye was really distracting me. I don't know if it was like her contact was out of place. Did you guys or
No,
was she wearing
it's
different
supposed to
meant-
be. She was
it's
wearing a
supposed
white
to
one
be
and a
like
black
that.
one. She's like a
Okay.
cyborg. That's why she has like
Yeah.
microchips coming out of her boob. Like she's like
yeah.
a robot kind of thing.
Okay.
I thought I'm with
Yeah.
you, Keeks.
I thought it was a cute look. I just don't think it's her best. Like it is what it is. But again, I just don't think this category, this runway theme was really clear for all of the queens. And then there's Nina. So the only thing that I like about Nina's look is this wig. I actually like the wig because it's very camp. I like the fact that it's like the bomb, like the cartoon bomb kind of thing. The rest of the look is a chop.
I have to disagree. I
Same.
actually was very proud of Nina, and I was like, "Oh, she's giving like camp Atomic Blonde, what I thought was gonna be Atomic Blonde." So when I saw it, I was like, "Finally, someone gave me something like different." And for Nina, like from what we've seen so far in the season, I think this has been her most polished look. So I was not mad at Nina.
I have to agree with Brandon. Like, I definitely, when she came out, I didn't say finally someone gave me the look, but I was like, finally for Nina, this was okay. Like, yes, okay, we're getting in a direction now. But I wouldn't say she killed the theme of the night, but Nina, yes, okay, hey, all-star
She killed
material.
the theme that was in my head.
Okay. Well, I am shocked that we just heard that Brandon and Lina preferred Roxy's look over Got Mix and Plastique. Like, I just want us to sit on that, marinate a little bit.
Who said
Not
Roxy?
Yeah, who
Roxy's
said
look.
that? I was
Not
like,
Roxy.
wait, hold on.
Not
Roxy.
Roxy. I'm sorry. Got Mick and Plastique. Got Mick and Plastique. Am I wrong there now?
Yes, because I do not prefer Nina over Plastique.
But you
I
preferred hers over Got Mix.
Over Gomix, yes.
I prefer George's over everybody's.
Correct.
To be
Okay.
fair,
Oh,
but I
correct.
think
Okay.
next in line, you have Nina that went a different direction, who's more camp, and then you have Plastique who went in a more futuristic cyborg direction.
Brandon,
But I think
honey, have a sip of wine. Take that statement back. You're not gonna
no.
put Nina West over Plastique's look.
I didn't say
Plastique
over. I
makeup.
said they're equal for me this week because Plastique
Okay.
didn't. Yeah, like they're both
Okay.
at second place, but George's is
Hmm.
the top person.
No, I definitely would put Plastique over Nina. But again, I think that Nina, for what Nina's been bringing, Nina did good this week.
Okay, and go ahead, Michael.
What I want to say is that we haven't seen like this level of like campiness, I would say, in drag in a long time. Like this is kind of like it's like a little old school, but not that old. Like 5 or 6 years ago, this would have been it. Like this would have been fabulous, iconic, like whatever. I do like to see this level of camp on the stage, and I do think she did it well. And I think if anyone can still do this level of camp, it's Nina. And maybe she should stick to this route instead of trying like all these other things that she's not succeeding at, like style wise. I'm literally just speaking about style. This is the avenue that she should take, and this is the avenue that she should run with, because this is where everything comes together for her and it works. Did I love it? No, but did I appreciate the campiness and like what she's doing with it? Yes, and I hope that she really stays in this direction, like moving forward, because it just works so well with her personality as well. It all comes together when she looks like this, I think.
Okay, all right. So moving on from Nina, we find out that the top 2 roasters of the week are Angeria and Plastique. I'm not gonna hold you. I was a little surprised by Plastique's placement, but I get why she was there. It is what it is. And they're singing "Be My Lover," and honestly, Angeria dust Plastique. I'm sorry. This is the second time that we've seen Plastique not know the lyrics. And now I'm either questioning, are you doing this on purpose so you don't have to chop nobody and nobody like goes after you, but you gotta know the lyrics. Like that moment where she pointed at Angeria to do the rap part of the song, I said, oh, you lost. You lost.
Well, but she did know the lyrics more than she has before. Because I was actually really watching Plastique hard on this lip sync. Like when she did Super Freak, like sis knew none of the words. But here she knew some of the words. I mean, it was an easy song. It was an easier song. But
I thought that
still
was
not
part
enough.
of her. No, I thought I was laughing at it. I thought it was part of her being like funny in the performance, so I wasn't mad at it because let's be real, I'm not gonna learn that whole rap either if I don't really know it. So do something funny with it. She didn't ask to keep
I
a
think it was a
mask
cop
on.
out.
So.
I mean, like, yeah, like it was funny that she did that, but it's also just like you don't know the lyrics again to the lip sync. So now I'm wondering, like, honestly, if you make it to the end, I might beat you because you might not know the lyrics then too. That's how I think of it. Are you gonna know the lyrics at the end, at the finale?
Or she might come and surprise the hell out of you and know every
I
damn
mean,
thing.
maybe if they give her an actual song that's like something that she would perform,
no, because that's not fair. A whole bunch of these queens don't perform these songs like on the regular.
That was more directed to RuPaul.
No, and I understand that
with the lip sync songs.
But I understand that. But at the end of the day, like it's a lip sync for your legacy, lip sync for the badge, whatever. Like, know the lip sync, know the song. Like, I'm sorry. I feel like if that was the case, if this was a regular season or regular All Stars, Plastique would have been home a long time ago because she don't know the lyrics to the songs. I feel like, I love Plastique. I like her. She's showing out, but I'm not about to keep making excuses for you, girl. You gotta know the lyrics to the song to win.
I
What are you
agree.
gonna say, Michael?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I do think like the lip sync is such a big part of the show, and like if every time you don't know the lyrics, you're just showing up unprepared, and that's not like a cute look either for you. And that's what it gives when you don't know the words, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's a lip
definitely.
sync. We got to see your lips. Remove the mask, please. Like, you know.
And she can move. She can move. Like, honestly, she's a very alluring the way that she moves and dances. But I'm like, you gotta know the song. Come on. Now.
I do think it might be strategy though.
It could be that. Hey, I hope
now
she
that you
proves me
mention
wrong.
it, that makes a lot of sense.
So Angie wins, and then Angie cuts off Roxy, and Roxy's over it. She's pissed because it's like, damn, again. And I don't blame Angie. Like, hello, you got the most badges. Do what you gotta do.
This is a competition. I don't
Don't
care
start
anymore.
nothing,
Like,
won't be nothing.
And
that part.
honestly, there's only 3 people that are really just cutting each other. It's Angie, Roxy, and Gottmik. Those been the main ones cutting people.
And Plastique is sliding through, not knowing the words, but still sliding through.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it might be strategy, you know? But okay, so Angie, you won 10K for your charity, and you cut off Roxy, got your lick back. And now we're off to the next episode. Right now, we're starting episode 7, meeting in the ladies' room. And again, Roxy is mad, child. She's mad. She tells Angie, "Oh, I'm good. I just thought the dramatics, that what you were doing was a little too much." And I said, "That is funny as hell, considering the shenanigans you pulled the week before." But I'll give it to Roxy. She did apologize, and she owned up to it. She was in her feelings. So I'll give her that. Later in the episode, she did say that. But in this moment, before she apologized, I said, girl, be fucking for real. How did you feel about this moment, Lina?
All I said was rewind the tape. Because what? Rewind? Because I remember tears a few an episode again. But she did apologize. So I'll give her that credit. But yeah, it was it's giving delusional right here.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to say, Brandon? Just that?
My mama told me if I don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. I'm gonna say it again.
Okay, you're gonna stay quiet. Plastique is trying to obviously deter the queens from realizing that she is a front runner. She also has 3 badges, and y'all need to start chopping Plastique. Okay, that seems to be something that comes up in conversation, but Plastique is not doing a good job trying to stay under the radar. You know,
all I gotta say is, Plastique, let's stick to looks, honey. Math is not your strong suit. You was trying it, but
no, she was right.
No, she was correct.
I
She was
don't know
right.
if she was correct.
She was
She was
right, and that's why they
absolutely
ended up
correct.
doing what she did.
But if you have 3 all-stars that already have 3 badges, which you do, and you keep cutting people who are on the same level as you, you're not going to make the top 3. So she might have been right now, I guess, to deter the queens, but overall her math doesn't make sense. And
Yes,
we'll see.
because
We'll let it play out.
The math makes sense. She's just saying go for the lower people, because at the end of the day, they're gonna cut you anyway. So if you cut the lower people, that doesn't give them a chance basically to get at the top people. So keep it at the top level where we have the best competition, and then move forward. I thought her plan was brilliant.
I say let the season play out.
I wish she would be brilliant at lip syncing. Anyway, so moving on from that, so we get to the mini challenge, and pretty much the mini challenge is that the contestants have to move fruits into a fruit basket. It's called Fruity Patootie. And the winner of the mini challenge ends up getting immunity. I don't see why we're doing immunity, but whatever. And pretty much whoever wins gets safe from being cut. Like, they will not be cut no matter what. If they're, point blank, period. So Nina ends up winning. She's super hyped, like, yeah, she won something. But I found it funny that they did not give Nina no money at this point. And I said, dang, y'all just stop giving money away. Y'all said the budget's a little tight. Y'all can't do nothing. But I thought that was funny. So we got into the maxi challenge. Before we get to the maxi challenge, again, Roxy ends up apologizing. She says that she had an emotional week. She slept on it and that she apologized. She knew that she was in the wrong. Say, good for you, Roxy. Good, because you looked crazy. Now, before we get into the maxi challenge, we're gonna go through the runways real quick. And the runway theme is Widow Weep for Me. And this is Nina's look. I think this is one of Nina's better looks as well. I like this look better than her last runway look, but yeah, it's one of her better looks. How do you feel, Michael? What you thinking?
So remember
Hold
they
on.
did that skit.
Hold on, I just got like a side eye of Michael right before he started talking, and I didn't realize we were both doing the. Okay, Michael.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So what I feel is that this is like the same look that she did for that little skit for the Witches
the
of Salem.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this looks exactly like that. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this. And then just secondly, I didn't think it was great. She had a reveal, right?
Yeah, the majority of them had reveals. I didn't think it was
And
like
it looked,
the greatest thing, but I think she looked better.
I thought it was cool to go from this to like the ghost vibe when she did her reveal, because then she looked a little bit more ghostly, and I thought that was cool. But overall, I don't think the makeup's great. I don't think the hair is great. I think the dress looks like it's not made well. It looks like a tearaway. It looks like a tearaway, and I feel like a lot of her stuff is tearaways. Like that's most of her looks. Like you can look at a garment and you can tell when it's going to be ripped off, and this looks like it's going to be ripped off. If that makes sense.
Well, I'm glad she stopped there because it was already she already did a lot of ripping off. She had a whole cloak on. Okay, so moving on from Nina, Roxy, do you have anything to say about this look, Brandon? Do you have anything nice to say about this look?
Yes, so I think the dress itself is very nice. I think her makeup looks good. It doesn't look too like orange for me. I think the hair looks good. The only thing I would say that just bothered me a little bit was like the placement, I guess, of like the speckle of blood. Like it wasn't my favorite. But other than that, I think she looks great.
Yeah, I agree. I wish she had more blood, and I wish the axe was bigger. I felt like the axe was very like Party City.
I wish it was real blood. Well, not real blood, but like I wish it looked like real blood. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And what about you, Lina? Did you have anything to say about this look?
I love this look. I actually when they first said the theme of the runway, this is where my mind went. Like this is what I would have done. Like a very glammed bride with a little bit of like splatter, you know. I think this has been Roxy's best look this season. I think the dress fit her beautifully. I think the axe, I actually disagree. I think if it would have been bigger, it would have been more costumey. I think it was just like a little side touch. I loved this look, actually.
Yeah, she looked really nice, and the mug was beautiful. The hair, I love the hair. It was very like bridal hair too, so I felt like it looked very well together. And the pure white was really nice to train. But I do agree with you, Brandon. I just wish the blood was more like realistic, or at least like more blood in general, just because I felt like right there was just like not enough. Okay, so moving on from Roxy, we have Angeria. Lina, how did you feel about Angeria's look?
I didn't like this look at all. It gave me so costumey. It gave me Halloween. Like I didn't really like. I guess.
Well, if that's sold at Party City, then it's in the $1,000 section because she looks.
This is like Morticia, like the urn and the hair.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What?
No, I hated
this. Is camp.
Okay,
this is Halloween.
No, yeah, like it just, to me, I hate this. Is 2 looks in a row that Angeria to me, I was like, damn, what happened?
This is
Personally, it's a
10 times better than her
Better
last
than the last
episode.
Lina.
one.
Yeah.
Hold on, Lena, to your point, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's great. I do think it's costumey. I don't think it's Drag Race. Like I think it's very like off the shelf Party City. Not that she looks bad. Her hair looks great. I love the hair, love the face. Body's down, body's 8 down, great. She looks wonderful. But I think the whole aesthetic of it is very Party City.
So Gottmik didn't get her little prosthetic things for the android thing that she was doing last episode from Party City because
No, she got it from a special effects makeup artist.
Yeah, like I think Gottmik looked dynamic in that. Like it wasn't my look, but she looked dynamic. Come on, like even like the web that's behind her, to me, that really looks like pretty cheap. Like, not that I'm saying it may not be, but I just think she played too hard on the widow spider look. Like, it didn't work for me.
But that's the widow is like one of the big things of the runway theme. The widow.
I guess based on my interpretation, that's not how I would have played it.
Yeah, I was thinking a dead husband's wife.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking
and
a
again,
spider.
Even if she decided to do the spider look, I think she could have done it in a very different way to make it more elevated.
Michael, I'm sorry. You just said a dead husband's wife?
Isn't that a widow?
Yeah,
like
that's a widow.
Yes. So why?
She looks like a spider queen.
a black widow is a spider.
I know. I understand that. But that's not the direction I don't think went.
Yeah, with the theme, I would have went like marriage, like a widow, someone whose partner died. Not.
I mean, it's obviously a play on words. You could have went either way, but I do think that I don't know. It just wasn't that great. I think.
Wow.
Her face looks wonderful. She looks beautiful, but it's the garment.
Remember that word delusion? Yeah. That we were talking about.
Yeah, she was delusional.
It's called Lina and Brandon.
She was not delusional in this. This is so good. Black Widow, the spider, Widow, weep for me. Like,
hold on, Keeks, because he just said Lina and Brandon. Correct, honey. You're delusional if you're telling me this.
No, oh, sorry, Lina and Michael.
No, the truth came out. You was ready to get sassy. God was like, sparkle the truth, honey.
No, because even when we watched it, Brandon was like, wow, she looks so good. And I was just like, really? We were not on the same page.
Wow. Okay. Well, moving on from Angie, let's talk about Plastique. Brandon, did you like this look over the last one?
So I liked it. I thought it was very pretty, like, and it's a traditional garment. I thought the colors were really pretty. And her hair to me was like cool because I don't think I've seen hair in that shape before.
Well, I loved it, and I will say that Plastique does this thing where like her makeup still looks like Plastique's makeup, but like she does it very differently. Like I love the teardrop add effect and like the glitter, like it's very pretty.
Can I say something? Sorry, Plastique has moments where like she like gives you this side and her jaw, like she has like a beautiful like face like structure, and she just knows how on the runway to stop and like give you certain looks that I have to say no other queen has mastered. Yeah,
that you've seen yet, because there's some queens that they be mastering that.
Yeah, okay.
They got the face, the mug. Okay. So moving on to Chanel, another like flawless face. This is Chanel's best look, down, point blank, period. And she gives you drama. She sells it. Like as soon as she got on the runway, she's like weeping and everything. She sold it. I really hated the big cloak because obviously you knew that like a reveal was coming, but this is so beautiful and ornate. Like, well done to Chanel. This is definitely her best look of the season.
I think she looks expensive, and I think she did great. I don't know, like, personally to me, I don't know if this fits the theme. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know if she's playing on, like, history and all that stuff. But I think she looks amazing. And the best that she's ever looked this season so far.
All right, so we're gonna move on from Chanel. We're gonna move on to Georges. Georges is a chop. It's a chop. I hated it. I felt like this was very like last minute. Maybe I don't know if something happened with your original designer. I don't know, but it reminded me of season 14 Georges, and I was just like it just felt like an afterthought. I felt like everybody else had a lot of thought to their look aside from Georges.
Yeah, and I think the thing that really did it for me was like the hair. Like I felt like the hairline was too low. Like, am I crazy? Like, I don't know. I think it was taken away from the outfit.
And Georges is another one who has worn a similar colored dress or cocktail dress to this. Like she had, I think Lina, you really like that look where she had like the fringe and the red. It was
but she's just fun. Yes.
It was her reveal look, like when she wore.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you guys. First of all, I'm sorry. I just have to make one quick comment about Chanel's look because, like, wow, I'm surprised by both of you guys on your previous comments. So I'm just, wow. Okay, you would say this is a great look.
I'm gonna piggyback.
Yes.
Lina.
What do you think, Michael?
Didn't love. Did not love.
hate
Oh,
it.
Bye everybody.
So,
Bye everybody. Lina and
he's
Michael
so
need
fake
to take a lap
because Michael watched it with me. He was like, "Oh, okay, Chanel." Like he was like, "I'm into it."
Okay,
He's
Her
what I will
face.
say-
Hold on. Her mug. She's giving me
Hold
Marie
on.
Antoinette for sure. Like her mug looks great, but
I do think this is one of her best looks for sure.
for the season,
Do I think that this is like wonderful? Do I think it looks expensive? Do I think like no, I don't.
Expensive? This does not look expensive.
I do not think so. Absolutely not.
At all.
I feel
You
like my
don't
dress
think
on
this-
Halloween looked better than this.
Correct.
Bye,
Correct.
bye
Like, I
Lina
made that.
and Michael. Bye Lina and Michael. Bye Lina and Michael. We're gonna keep this to Brandon and I, because this is insane. What are they talking about? This is not expensive. You know damn well.
Us being cut out is not
Yo,
okay.
is it rude? Oh my
No,
God.
I was like, where did I go? I was like, oh
Wait,
shit.
I was like, wait, did she just kick me off the pot? Like,
Y'all.
oh my
Wait,
God.
that was actually hilarious.
And you know what's
cute.
crazy?
This is crazy.
I love a Marie Antoinette reference. Like you,
Oh,
like
for sure.
love.
Oh, for sure. Put me on Michael in Versailles. We will be there all day, every day, any moment.
Absolutely. Give me
But
a petticoat and a corset. But this, I think if she would have did better, like a better colorway.
Yes. I don't like the purple.
She's
I think it's
already
the purple.
down. Okay, that's
Y'all really don't like purple
Relax. Y'all
this
don't like
evening
purple.
for
We
some
get
reason,
it.
right?
That's not true.
enough.
I love
Enough.
purple.
Enough. She already doesn't have a badge. Y'all don't have to kick her when she's already down.
I like
But I'm
Chanel.
not
There's
gonna
nothing wrong with her.
I'm also not gonna lie. I'm not gonna tell you this ate if it did not. Like this got me real hungry. Like absolutely not.
When I'm critiquing, I'm talking about the garment. I'm not talking about the person. Chanel's
We
great.
know. We know.
And I'm talking about the full aesthetic, you know, like it has to make you feel something when she walks. I didn't even like the reveal with the cloak. Like it just to me, like, and again, I'm being honest. Like I can sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, you looked great. But and she did. She's a beautiful girl. Don't get me wrong. But this, no. But we can go on to Georges because
I don't think it was the worst. I don't think it was the worst, but how you guys were like praising it, I didn't understand that either.
And I had to go back because I was like, wait, I was processing your praise for a minute. Like
I'm praising it because it's the greatest that I've seen Chanel look. So if I see a queen like Nina and Chanel look the best that they've looked this whole entire season, I'm gonna give them my props. Because and it might be not on the same level as like your plastiques and like Gottmix who are fashion queens. We all know that they're not fashion queens, but they can still hold their own to them. So
but I think again, you can call her beautiful and comment on how the look came across with.
Okay, we gotta move on.
Okay,
We're spending too much time. Okay, so George's, do y'all agree? It's a chop or is it hot for y'all? Because y'all are surprising me.
I've never seen
Y'all like
Georges look worse.
It's a chop. Like, this is
Okay.
terrible. Her makeup, no.
Her makeup
Um,
is what
her
is really sending
makeup?
me.
That
She
nose
does,
irks me.
she does her makeup so well. I've never seen her makeup look this bad. Like, what
Yeah.
is this?
She, yeah. Okay, next.
Love you, girl.
Okay. All right, Gamik. What do y'all got to say about Miss Gamik? Did y'all love this?
I like this
So
look.
I don't understand what the judges were like praising about like it. I thought it was a cool concept, but I wasn't like blown away by it. Like again, similar to Plastique in the last episode, I saw this and I was like, okay, Gottmik, I've seen better. But then when they were giving all the this is this fashion designer and this is this fashion designer, that's cute, but like, like I don't
Isn't this
know.
Marco? That's what she said.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that
don't
she designed this
know.
and she had Marco make it.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of cool that she designed it with the, with the designer. I think it's, she definitely has elements of her touch in it, which is great. I think she looked good. I definitely don't think she's the winner of the night by any means, but I definitely did not hate this look. And I think it was on theme,
Yeah, I mean it's a nice look for Gamik. I always love how Gottmik like takes on the runway themes. But I thought it was a good look. I will say, like, I am surprised that Gottmik has been doing a lot of black, considering that black on the runway doesn't read that well. But hopefully, like with the next runway theme, she adds like a little bit more color or anything like that. But I thought it was a good look.
So when I originally saw this on the runway, I was like, oh, cute. Like, I wasn't like blown away or anything. But then when I went on her Instagram after she posted it and then just like looking, zooming in, like there is a lot of detail. And I think the shape and the silhouette of this is great. I think this is so Mick. I can tell, like, now that you said she designed it, that makes so much sense. Like it's so Mick. But yeah, I would say 7 out of 10. Like, not the strongest. But I think it's nice. I like the creative vision. I like that she designed it. Like, I love all that. I think that's cool. But was it like her finale look? No. Like, you know what I mean?
Of course not. All right, and Vanjie. I'm sorry. This is probably one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite Vanjie look so far. Vanjie looked stunning. I love the umbrella. I loved it. I thought it was such a good touch. The fur, it just looks exquisite, expensive. Wow. Yeah, I loved it. Even though it's regular, like, lingerie, not regular lingerie, like very expensive lingerie under. It's very sexy. I just felt like Vanjie hit it out the park with this one. She looked beautiful.
She hit multiple home runs and I was into it. She had a story going down the runway and she was selling me with the whole thing and she looked, as always, gorgeous.
But I'm sorry, I knew the story before she walked down the runway. Like, when she came out in that look, I immediately thought Mistress. I got it. It, like, with the lingerie, it worked. She looked gorgeous. Like, wow.
10 out of 10.
10, like 100% she ate.
The body, the face, the hair, everything was right, honestly.
The attitude.
I love the shades. Yes. And the umbrella was so I loved it as like an accessory, and the shades.
The hair, the jewelry, like perfection. Because you could go very wrong with that jewelry, but perfect.
Yeah, I loved it. And honestly, so did the guest judge, because Loki, the guest judge was like hitting on Vanjie. I said,
wanted a licky lick, yup.
Okay, want to taste a little Vanjie. All right, so moving on, we're going to the main maxi challenge. It's meeting in the ladies' room, and pretty much it comes down to the queens have to co-star with RuPaul in an acting challenge inspired by classic camp films that also centered around like the classic cat fights and such. And the movies were actually assigned to the queens. I know some of these queens never seen these movies before, like Georges, for example. She probably ain't seen majority of them, if not all. But just to run through really quick what movies they were assigned. So Nina West was given Valley of the Dolls. Roxy Andrews, which you'll see, she was given Dynasty. Angeria was given Mildred Pierce. Plastique was given All About Eve. Georges was given, Chanel was given Mommy Dearest. Georges was given The Boys in the Band. Got Mick, The Mirror Cracked, and Vanessa Vanjie got Showgirls, which is Michelle's favorite movie. So from this group right here, from I don't know why I just blacked out on her name. Nina, Angie, Plastique, and Chanel. Obviously, Angie and Nina, they hit it right out of the park. Like, they were doing so well. They were in their element. How did y'all feel about these first four guys? Who did y'all think stood out? Who do y'all think struggled within these four?
I think definitely Nina. Like, Nina was just in her element, acting throughout the whole entire thing with her whole heart. And even Angie, like, Angie was funny the whole entire time for me. I'll be honest, I don't remember Plastique's or Chanel's. Like, it doesn't come top to mind for me.
They weren't good.
So
That makes sense.
Well, Plastique had, like, she got hit and then she acted like she had like a molar issue, like a tooth issue, like her. And then Chanel was just struggling. I will say in general, all the queens were reading off of something. You could tell they just kept looking.
Yes.
And honestly, the top queen of the week was actually RuPaul. Okay.
I was just about to say that because I was like, did
that.
RuPaul memorize all of it?
Ru
did
ate
that.
down.
Yeah, she
And
did.
honestly, I'm sure Ru ain't never heard this before, but Ru, you was the best actress of the night, okay? Because yeah, you ate the girls up. You definitely showed that you are a pro at this. And I just wish they added like more improv elements. I wish it wasn't as scripted. And I wish, like, I don't know if the queens actually got to like watch clips of the movie, but yeah.
I wish they kind of like, yeah, like, I get it. They each had a movie. I felt like by the fourth person going, it just got repetitive. I wish they kind of like interacted with each other, like all came into the bathroom at once and then did their parts of the movie. But since each one went after another, it just felt like
so long.
I felt like I was watching the same thing over and over again.
You know what I think? Like, instead of having like movie references, I wish they had like character references, like the crazy ex-girlfriend or the drunk uncle, or something like that, because I think it would have allowed them to show character more versus like referencing a movie. Because again, when you reference a movie, there's different inspirations you can pull that maybe I wouldn't get it, but Brandon would get. So I think it would have been like, for an acting challenge, I think it would have been better if they were given a character to embrace versus a movie.
Okay. I think I wish if they were going to stick to the movie thing that they would do newer movies. I just feel like, Ru tends to like staying in their bubble. And yes, I do understand that it's also like a history lesson and exposes people to these classic films and references. But I do think that there are other more current examples of classic cat fights, etc. Like, obviously, like Mean Girls, right? Like the moment
Mean Girls, Jennifer's Body, Jonathan Tucker Must Die, or like all these like cult classics.
Bring It On.
Bring It On, yes.
Yeah. So that's my only thing. But then that means that Ru would have to do their homework as well. So and Ru's the boss. So it is what it is. So moving on to the second group. I completely forgot about Roxy. And honestly, Roxy looked so good in this challenge. Honestly, that was one of their good looks too. Like the black dress with the V-neck. Y'all remember what Roxy was wearing? She looked really good.
She looked really good.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. She was actually supposed to be in the first slide. Then there's Georges, there's Vanjie, and Gamik. Who do y'all think struggled from Roxy, Georges, Vanjie and Gottmik, or who do you think did exceptionally well or like played it safe? What are your thoughts, Michael? Who did you think did okay or did not do well?
So I definitely think Vanjie struggled a little bit. I mean, to be fair, if I was standing in front of RuPaul, I would too, for sure. I think Georgis's box wig stole the show. Just the shape of the wig, not even her acting, just like the sheer boxiness of the wig. That was just so funny to look at. Yeah, but I would say probably Vanjie maybe had a little bit of a hard time. I don't think it came together terribly, but you know, like I said, when Vanjie has to act, you could always like tell that she's acting, if that makes sense.
I think Vanjie is a person that like needs confirmation to like keep going. And you could tell that they kept looking like at Ru, like, okay, like, should I say my next line? But I do think that Georges honestly like played it well and seemed a little bit confident in their lines. And then Gottmik, you could tell that she was reading off the teleprompter or whatever at times. But I also felt like their delivery was pretty like spot on to what they were trying to give, like this cunning person that doesn't really like I guess like a frenemy of some sort. How did you feel about it, Brendan?
Yeah, I thought like Gottmik was okay. I think definitely the person that did the best out of this group for me without intentionally being the best was Georges. Just because the wig and like I was laughing the whole entire time. And then we saw the backstory of the wig. And I don't know. For me, it just did it. I just thought out of this group, it was the funniest.
I did laugh at Vanjie saying like, I'm a scripper. I'm not a scripper. I'm a dancer, mama. And then
yeah, that part was funny. So
again, unintentionally funny. Lina, did you have any comments on this group?
I just kind of disagree. I actually thought that Gottmik did the best of this group. I thought that she was the best actress of the group. Like I believed her character the most. I actually thought Georges did terrible. So I'm like surprised. I think she looks great. I just
terrible.
I did. I thought acting wise she did terrible. Like she wasn't taking notes. Like Ru told her to like walk in, say happy birthday, shut the door. She didn't do it. Like I don't know. I guess like I picked up on little moments that I was like, I see through it too much.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on. Ru ends up slapping the whole cast and crew. Which I was just like, Ru's probably just having a good old time. Ru ends up slapping the hell out of Raven. I said, why you did that? She fucked up your makeup one time. What's going on? But Ru definitely was the shining star of this acting challenge. I was like, Ru, you got a benefactor's badge, girl, because you did
and
that.
I think that was the point, though.
Yeah,
I
agree too. But I did think that was funny. So moving on, we find out that Nina and Angeria are the top 2 all-stars of the week. They lip sync to Lover Girl by Tina Marie. Go ahead, Brandon. What did you think about this lip sync song?
Can I just say, I know I love the song, but can I just say, I thought Nina should have won this. Nina, I had me with the theatrics, and she was going in, and she was killing it. And when Ru said Angeria, I was shook. Like I was like, really? Like, I didn't think just because they were panning in on Nina so much throughout the whole entire time, I didn't think she was gonna lose.
That's fair. I did think Nina held her own. Go ahead, Lina.
I have to agree. I think like throughout the transition of the episode, like with the maxi challenge, with the runway, with the lip sync, I thought Nina should have won. I don't know that Nina out lip synced Angeria, because I think Angie definitely did her thing too. But I think as a whole, Nina should have won this.
I think also, just to piggyback on what you just said, she gave us something that we weren't used to seeing from Nina. And I think we've been used to seeing Angeria lip sync throughout this whole entirety. And she was doing a lot of the same mannerisms. Whereas we think of Nina lip syncing when she did No Scrubs, for example, Keeks. Remember?
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
So
yes. How could I forget? I want to, but thank you for reminding me. No, I agree. I mean, like, it could have gone either way for me. I didn't really care. I do love this song. I need more Tina Marie, you know, up in there. I will say that I did kind of want it to be Nina just to see who she would cut off. Especially I think that she would have cut off Plastique, or maybe would she have tried cutting off Georges, since Georges like played her with the rose. So I was just interested to see where she would go. But then again, we find out that Angeria is the top queen of the week, and Angeria ends up cutting Gottmik, and everyone's shocked, literally appalled. But we find out in the preview of next week that there's a design element to the challenge, and Gottmik is a great designer. So I feel like Angeria also, yeah, may have done what Plastique wanted to do, but it was also a smart move. How do y'all feel about this? Gottmik getting cut? Did y'all think that she should have cut Plastique? What are your thoughts, Lina?
No, I think it was a great move. I think Gottmik is a very talented individual. So I think that she can actually shine in most anything. And the fact that it's a design challenge is a plus. Like, it really is the one to chop, to snip. Sorry, Gottmik. So it worked out.
What about you, Michael? What are your thoughts on this?
I think now that you mentioned next week is a design challenge, she could have went two ways. It was either Mick or Roxy. And was she going to cut Roxy again? Probably not. Would that have been tea? Would that have been tea? That would have been good tea for sure. But yeah, I mean, I understand her decision. It was between them two because no one else is going to design. I mean, maybe Plastique. Plastique pulled that last look off.
No, and
very
also
well.
Gottmik did cut Angie, so Angie was getting her lick back too.
Right. Angie's out for vengeance, so she's
I don't know. I feel like if it was me, right? Like, I'm not mad at her decision, but I feel like to make like really like fun TV for us, Roxy would have been a fun choice. Because then I feel like that would have motivated Roxy even more to like kill the sewing challenge next week, and then come out and all the judges would eat her up, and then she'd be like, okay, well, you cut me. So, and I don't know, I would have, I feel like I would have,
would have really been
like,
fun?
what?
Cutting Chanel.
Oh, see, that would have been mean. I don't know. I feel like that's meaner than cutting Roxy.
I think it would have caused like so much drama. Like, yeah, now you're really not even gonna get a badge. Yeah, you're gonna be.
I feel like Chanel would have quit. If I was Chanel, I would have quit at that point, because now you're being mean.
I guess. I mean, she got to step up the game and get a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, that concludes the episode. We didn't get it under an hour, but hey, we did it at a minute and 31. We tried. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to All Stars 9. And again, any last final thoughts before we get out of here? Because, we was yapping. All right.
I'm good.
Well, catch us next time for All Stars 9, episode 8. Hopefully not 9 as well. But episode 8, it's been great talking to you guys, reviewing these last 2 episodes. We're having a good time, honestly. For this to be a charity season, they're providing, it may not be the most dramatic, but they are providing some drama, and I'm enjoying it. It could be worse, but it's not, and the drags are up there. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok, and be on the lookout for things to come next. We will be covering the challenge season 40 cast and All Stars 5 cast very, 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 very soon. So again, just be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye, everyone.
Bye.